And a festival that celebrates heritage in the Berg is back for the first time since 2019.
Plus, election season is creeping up. Are you ready to cast your vote? We have everything you need to know about when, where, and how to vote on November 7th.
Your sports desk is on the road today. I'll be live outside Scott Stadium as JMU football is set to take on UVA in an historic matchup. I'll have all you need to know and expect.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Breeze TV.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Maggie Rickerby.
And I'm Zoe Mowry.
You may have noticed it's looking pretty dry in the Friendly City. Harrisonburg is experiencing severe drought according to Drought.gov. The city released an official statement on X, formerly known as Twitter, encouraging the community to preserve water. The post lists ways for you to conserve water, like turning off your faucets when washing your face or brushing your teeth, taking shorter showers, and avoiding overwatering your lawn. For more ways to save water, visit ready.gov/drought.
Speaking of water, there's spotty water in Spotswood Hall. This JMU residence building has been experiencing water issues for the past few weeks. The problems have been on and off, leaving residents wondering when and where their next shower will be.
I couldn't be in here because I knew that if I needed to get up and go to the bathroom or something, I had nowhere to go. I would have had to completely go to a different building. So I just kind of stayed far away and kept my distance till we got an email saying our water was back on.
Arias says that JMU has been quick to provide solutions to their water issues. Spotswood residents received an email from the Office of Residence Life explaining that the plumbing under the building has to be replaced. The construction is expected to last into next week. Breeze TV reached out to the University Communications Office for comment, but no additional information could be provided.
And the Dukes take on the Charlottesville tomorrow. Our sports director Colby Reese is live at UVA for more on the matchup. Colby?
Thank you so much, Maggie. JMU football will travel here to Charlottesville tomorrow to take on UVA for the first time in 40 years. With much anticipation around the rivalry, plenty of JMU alum and students, and over 50,000 people expected in attendance, this matchup will serve as one of the most hyped college football games of the season. While there is much significance to the result of the game, this is also UVA's first home game since the shooting in November of 2022 that killed 3 players on the team and abruptly ended their season. UVA will be holding a pregame ceremony to honor the victims. Carly Wade, a JMU alum who graduated in 2022, is traveling to attend the game. She talks about the feeling of going to a game with so much importance and emotion.
We haven't forgotten about what's happened. Yeah, we're here to play a football game and one team's going to have to win over the other, you know what I mean? But there's still, as you said, that sense of community.
The Dukes will be wearing helmet decals honoring the players lost in the tragic shooting. The pregame ceremony will be held at 11:30 a.m. and kickoff is set for noon. I'll have more later on in the show about the Dukes' mindset heading into the game. For now, back to you all in the studio.
Thanks, Colby. Former Secretary of Virginia, Kay Coles James, spoke at Wilson Hall on Wednesday. The speech is part of a new inclusive community series with inspiration from the 2022 to 2023 climate study, with a goal to create a more positive environment on campus. Known for her conservative background, James spoke on the divided American politics. She has worked on both the state and federal level and has learned just how important it is to give others the space to grow and learn. She says that if we want to see a change in our political climate, there has to be a willingness to agree.
Stop questioning people's motives, their ethnicity, stop the name calling, and find out if you share common goals.
James ended the event reflecting on times when people from different ideological backgrounds came together, regardless of their political affiliations.
JMU joins the dialogue of civil education. Reporter Noelle James caught up with the Madison Center for Civic Engagement to discuss what this could mean.
JMU has become the third university to join the Institute of Civic Studies and Learning for Democracy. The Dukes joined North Carolina State University and the University of Augsburg in Germany. The Madison Center for Civic Engagement hosted the Institute Monday, where President Alger instilled JMU's commitment to the program and said this visit came at a perfect time.
We see this polarization in the United States that's reflected all over the world right now. And we know that if we don't work on that together, the alternatives are pretty scary.
The Institute connects faculty and student fellows with the international delegates. Adonis Ortiz, one of the Democracy Fellows, says it is important to be civically engaged.
One, it's not just about figuring out the democracy here domestically in Virginia, in the United States. It's about how can we come together as a world order to really talk about democracy.
Young Democracy Fellows from various student organizations represented diverse voices on campus and echoed one goal.
There is nothing more important than cherishing democracy, especially in a university named after James Madison himself, than protecting civic engagement and free speech across the board.
We've never been in a more polarized time in our society. Action starts now. It starts at our age in the educational systems. And if we don't start now, there is such thing as being too late.
I think it is really time for us to unite around a common good, really just uniting about the fact that we are all people, we all have worth, and we need to fight for one another, not just the party and ideas that we align with.
Delegates from around the world set foot in the Hall of Presidents to talk about the importance of civil education and why it matters. 3 delegates from Ukraine said, quote, "Civil education which we provide in Ukraine develops a civil society, especially during war."
Even in this very situation of crisis in each region, we need now people coming together and decide what can we do.
Reporting for Breeze TV, this is Noel James.
Well, we have a bunch coming up next. How policies from Richmond may affect transgender students in local schools.
And we get to know a few names on the ballot in the first installment of People in Politics.
Plus, if you've been struggling to find somewhere to study, we've got you covered.
Stay tuned. We'll have all this and more after the break.
It's bow time.
Dude, we need gas.
Yo, we gotta get those Supremes.
We're not gonna make it.
It's bow time, baby.
So worth it, right? I'm glad y'all ran out of gas.
Boldly seasoned chicken Supremes with a biscuit, fixin', and drink. It's bow time. It's bow time. It takes 49 steps to bake a fluffy, made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit. But to make it a country ham biscuit, it takes 50. Get a fresh buttermilk biscuit today with a slice of juicy country-style ham. It's bow time. It's bow time.
We gonna split this solo?
No. Come on. Split the drive?
No chance.
What are you wearing? Split these?
I thought you'd never ask.
Introducing Bo's Barbecue Chicken Sandwich and Bo's Carolina Gold Chicken Sandwich. Boldly seasoned hand-breaded chicken, topped with pickles, slaw, and your choice of 2 sauces. So good, you'll want to get both and split them with a friend. Download the Bojangles app and order ahead. It's Bo time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true. But it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
This is Breeze TV.
The AfricanAmerican Festival is meant to foster cultural awareness and celebrate the achievements of the African American community. The festival makes its return to Harrisonburg after a 3-year hiatus after the pandemic. Our reporter Noel James has more.
Joining us today is Carol Raymond, the chairwoman of the organizing committee for the Harrisonburg Rockingham African American Festival. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all for having me.
Talk to me a little bit about this festival. What is it about?
Okay. It's basically a community festival, started in 1993, and it's all about community. It's about the achievements of individuals in the community and people who have paved the way for us. So now we want to celebrate and we want to acknowledge individuals who are now paving the new way for the future.
And what is the importance of having this event? What is the benefit to the African American community?
It is all about community. Once again, it's getting to know your neighbor. It's coming out and fellowshipping. We incorporate the churches, and we want to have communities, and we have just all of the individuals who have been part of that community for so long. We bring individuals in because we want everyone to be celebrated.
Folks can expect this on Saturday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m.
That is correct.
Where will you guys be?
We'll be at the Ralph Sampson Park, which is right near the historical Sims School. You can't miss us.
Zoe, Maggie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Noelle. You can watch the full interview with Carol Raymond on the Breeze website. Now, with election season approaching, a lot is on the table. Our political correspondent, Regine Nazari, has you covered. Regine?
Thank you, Zoe, and welcome to Breeze TV Politics. Virginia legislatures have approved the state's budget over 6 months after the original deadline. The package includes $1.1 billion in tax relief and increased spending on public education and mental health resources. The legislation now heads over to Governor Glenn Youngkin's desk to sign into law or make amendments. In other news, Virginia schools can be sued if Youngkin's transgender model policies are not adopted. Attorney General Jason Miyares stated that the new guidelines are compliant with existing state and federal anti-discrimination laws. This opinion comes in the wake of several of Virginia's largest school divisions refusing to adopt the policies. Spotsylvania and Roanoke County schools have adopted the policies in full. Harrisonburg City Schools met with their legal counsel on Tuesday and will be following their advice as they come to a decision. The Rockingham County School Board is expected to meet with their legal counsel, but did not say if they will vote on the matter at the next meeting on September 11th. Breeze TV Politics will continue providing updates on this developing situation. All 140 seats of Virginia's General Assembly are on the ballot this year as campaign season fires up in the Commonwealth. 2023 marks a pivotal moment in Virginia history as both parties fight for legislative control with an uncertain new redistricting map. Breeze TV has everything you need to know to keep up with this tight race. Virginians have the opportunity to make their voices heard this year as all 140 seats of the state's legislature are up for grabs. The Commonwealth remains politically competitive, and November's results could have high-stake implications as both parties seek legislative control.
It's the first General Assembly election that we're having after redistricting happened. In 2020, Virginia elected to have a nonpartisan commission decide redistricting, and out of that committee, we got our new redistricting maps. This is the first time in the state of Virginia that the lines have been drawn for the districts for House of Delegates and State Senate that weren't drawn by the actual members of those bodies. And so it's a nonpartisan redistricting.
JMU's Center for Civic Engagement seeks to encourage students to become informed and active voters. Senior Democracy Fellow Amelia Stoner discusses important resources to stay up to date ahead of Election Day.
Turbo Vote for sure is a website that you can use. You can find like your precinct, where you're supposed to be voting, if you're registered or not. And then on our website, we have a ton of resources as well, as far as like making sure, like, how do you register to vote? If I can't vote, what can I do to get involved in democracy?
Virginians can visit www.elections.virginia.gov to update their voter registration and check their polling location. The last day to register to vote is October 16th, but same-day registration will be available by casting a provisional ballot at your local voter registrar.
Voting matters everywhere. Everybody's vote matters and is important, and it's just nice to have your voice be heard, especially in a large community like James Madison University. So many people go here. A lot of students aren't from the state, or they're not from this locality, so they don't think they have a say, but that's far from the truth. They spend more time in like the JMU bubble, which extends in Harrisonburg, than some individuals who have lived here their whole lives.
Voting and being civically engaged are just vital parts of being educated, well-rounded, productive, and meaningful citizens who can contribute and be leaders in the society today.
To gear up for Election Day, Breeze TV is introducing this week's segment of People in Politics, where we highlight all the candidates you need to know on the local ballots. Tom Dominowski is running uncontested in Harrisonburg City School Board's special election this year. Dominowski currently works as an attorney in Harrisonburg and has previously served on the city's school board in 2015. He was reappointed to the position in 2022 after board chair Nick Swain resigned.
I was appointed last year to fill his seat until the special election, which is this year, which will only be for the remainder of the seat, which is up next year.
Although Dominowski's seat is uncontested, he's outspoken about encouraging other community members to run for local office to address pressing issues in Virginia's education system.
Virginia does not do a very good job supporting its public schools in the way that other school systems do nationally. We rank below West Virginia in how much we spend per student to educate public students in Virginia. And that is a huge issue. Lots of work is being done to remedy that. We need people from our diverse communities running for public office.
Right down the road, another race is starting to heat up. Rockingham County native Jared Cromer is on the ballot for the Board of Supervisors' 4th District election against Layla Longcore. Cromer has no political background, but says that his journey has just begun.
You know, after I did enter, we had to get some signatures, and as going around getting those, we found that there was sort of a community want or desire for another choice, and maybe not specifically me, but another choice in general, so we can experience democracy and vote and not just have someone hand it to us. So.
Currently owns the Dry River Tree Service with his brother. He owes their business's success to his history in public education and wants this election to be how he gives back.
Education is important for everybody, not just me. In my profession, we need employees every single day, and we're looking for people now, and those people have to be educated, and it starts with the base level, even in grade school, all the way up. And without education, people aren't going anywhere.
If elected, Cromer wants to be an accessible representative and to make responsible choices in the best interest of his constituents. That's all for politics. Zoe and Maggie, back to you.
Thanks so much, Regine. And now our reporter Alexa Bonilla has more on where you can study now that Carrier is closed.
I'm Alexa Bonilla, and I'm here at Carrier Library, where construction is currently underway. Renovations began over the summer and are expected to last until fall 2026. Although Carrier is closed for now, there are still 4 on-campus library locations available: the ETMC in Memorial Hall, Rose Library on East Campus, the Music Library on the Quad, and JMU Libraries Express near the Quad. At any of these locations, books can be picked up. There are also plenty of study locations like the Student Success Center and the Union. Back to you, Maggie and Zoe.
Are you looking for a new place to study now that Carrier's closed? Drift down to downtown Harrisonburg's Ice House, where a new cafe is open. Drifters Cafe owners Lucas and Lexi Shiflett have renovated the space to accommodate the needs of students while Carrier Library is under construction.
With Carrier renovations underway, Drifters has been a hit for students in need of a place to study. After taking over from Black Sheep, Drifters set out to create a new interior to better serve their customers. Instead of study cubicles, a new half wall was placed to give the area a, quote, gathering feel while maintaining privacy for students to study.
Especially since Carrier's closed now, I think this is a good spot for people to come study.
With an abundance of staff from the JMU community, employees say they are able to connect with their roommates and fellow students on a deeper level.
It's nice to know that there's other JMU students here that I can relate to, and we can hang out at school or, after school.
After 1 week of opening, Drifters has seen success beyond their expectations for themselves, students, and surrounding businesses.
It's a smaller community downtown, so we've been able to have a lot of them come here, socialize, meet other businesses. Some of them have dropped off their business cards so that we can continue to support our community. I think that so far we've been doing really well here. I think that's a great environment that we've created, and it's just a different kind of coffee shop to bring to our community.
Drifting back from downtown Harrisonburg, this is Madeline Cornwell reporting for Breeze TV.
When we come back, our sports director, Colby Reese, tells us more about a game 40 years in the making.
And our Ellie Fenza is sticking it out with field hockey.
Plus, how the long-anticipated rain could affect the Berg. Abby Allard has your weekend weather.
All this when we come back. You don't want to miss it.
It's bow time. It takes 49 steps to bake a fluffy made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit. But to make it a country ham biscuit, it takes 50. Get a fresh buttermilk biscuit today with a slice of juicy country-style ham. It's bow time. It's bow time.
Dude, we need gas.
Yo, we gotta get those Supremes.
We're not gonna make it.
It's bow time, baby.
So worth it, right? I'm glad y'all ran out of gas.
Boldly seasoned chicken Supremes with a biscuit, fixin', and drink. It's bow time. It's bow time.
We gonna split this solo?
No. Come on. Split the drive?
No chance.
What are you wearing? Split these?
I thought you'd never ask.
Introducing Bo's Barbecue Chicken Sandwich and Bo's Carolina Gold Chicken Sandwich. Boldly seasoned hand-breaded chicken, topped with pickles, slaw, and your choice of 2 sauces. So good, you'll want to get both and split them with a friend. Download the Bojangles app and order ahead. It's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true. But it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Bojangles, Cajun filet biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun filet biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun filet biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
This is Breeze TV.
Now our sports director, Colby Reese, may be busy in Charlottesville, but don't worry, he's not taking the bench on sports this week. Colby, what's going on in the world of sports?
Thanks, Zoe. From Charlottesville, welcome to the Sports Desk, your place for all things JMU sports. JMU football takes on UVA tomorrow here at Scott Stadium. The Dukes are coming off a 38-3 win over Bucknell in the season opener, while the Cavaliers suffered a 49-13 defeat at 12th-ranked Tennessee. JMU will start Jordan McLeod at quarterback after providing a spark to the offense off the bench last Saturday. Despite the game bringing much excitement and emotions, head coach Kirk Cinetti wants his team to keep their eyes on the game in hand.
This game we got to approach like any other game. We know we're going on the road, hostile environment, and I don't want our guys to go out there and be too emotional. I want them to have a lot of energy and fly around, but I want them to be focused, laser-focused energy.
JMU will look to put on a positive performance in their first away game of the season, which begins a 3-game stretch away from Bridgeforth for the Dukes. For more on the Dukes matchup against the Mountaineers, here's our reporter, Ellie Fenza.
Thanks, Colby. As you mentioned, field hockey is taking on App State later tonight. The Dukes are coming off a 1-0 defeat against number 12 Wake Forest. The team is currently 2-2 on the season so far, starting their 3-game home stretch this evening. Mia Julian leads the team in scoring with 2 goals and 3 assists. The team is set to face off tonight at 5 p.m. right behind me. Back to you guys.
The field hockey match isn't the only home game for the Dukes this weekend. Volleyball, more field hockey, and both soccer teams are on slate for JMU Athletics this weekend. Volleyball hosts the Erie Insurance Invitational starting today. They have home matches against Cal Poly Friday at 7 p.m., New Hampshire on Saturday at 2 p.m., and VCU Sunday at 2 p.m., all at the Convocation Center. Unbeaten men's soccer squares up with Mount St. Mary's at 7 p.m. on Saturday, and women's soccer will play Ohio at 1 p.m. on Sunday, both at Centera Park. Field hockey will play Temple on Sunday at 1 p.m. at the JMU Field Hockey Complex. Trying to decide what to wear to the game? Well, you're in luck because our meteorologist Abby Allard is back in the studio with this weekend's weather. Abby, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Colby. After a super dry week, we're finally looking at some rain. We see on Friday that the dew point will be at a 64, which will be miserable and yucky. But on Saturday, we're looking at 67 and 67 on Sunday. For our Saturday weather, we have in the 80s to the mid-low 80s as well. We come back to the south, and it's still in the low 80s on Sunday. We're also still looking at low 80s, high 90s. We see some 79 in Woodstock, Virginia. We see 80 in Lexington. We see that more in the south with the 70s. But on Sunday, unfortunately, it'll rain during the game. That's all I have for today. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much for that weather update, Abby. And wow, Zoe, it's been 40 years since we faced off with UVA. I'm so excited to see how that plays out.
Me too. I'm definitely going to be tuned in tomorrow with all my little appetizers, and I'm super excited to watch it.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it together.
We'll definitely will. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking with us after our technical difficulties last week, watching our show on Monday. Thank you guys. See you next week.